आकाश,
तो विकी मुझे एक चीज याद आती है कि व्हेन आई मेट माय गर्लफ्रेंड फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम
can you increase
later
the
she
volume a bit?
just a second, is it better now?
Yeah, but
So when I met my girlfriend, okay, she told this to me later. I was talking about her first meeting. So later on she told me that when I spoke to you the first time, your voice just hit me like a brick. And then
hit me like a brick in a negative manner or
no,
positive manner?
in a positive way.
Positive manner. Okay.
And she always is still smitten by the baritone that I have sometimes. And there was this one time, for some reason I cannot forget it. कई बार ऐसा होता है ना कि आपकी आवाज नॉर्मल से ज्यादा हस्की हो जाती है, कभी कभी ऐसा होता है
जब गला खराब होता है।
मेरे साथ ऐसा नहीं, कई बार ऐसे naturally भी, maybe it is because you breathed in a slightly different way, and
Okay.
maybe you just breathed abdominally, and or let's say that it's just because you were lying down or you just got up, तो कई बार ऐसा भी कुछ changes आते हैं.
Husky, like it gets more resonance in your voice.
Yes. So I distinctly remember there was this one time I kind of थोड़ा मतलब एकदम लेजी टाइप के स्टेट में था मैं, मतलब जो भी है बात ही कर रहा था, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. एंड आई आस्क्ड हर समथिंग, मैंने उससे कुछ पूछा, एंड शी हैड टू जस्ट shake herself for a while, and she said your voice, my god. And even I realized कि मेरी आवाज जरूरत से ज्यादा बैरिटोन हो गई है.
Okay.
ऐसा बस एक बार हुआ, पता नहीं, just because of the reaction that I got from her, that she kind of got that jolt, and I realized that my voice.
So she wasn't happy at that time.
It wasn't that she was unhappy, or I don't know. It just was. What I'm trying to say is that my voice it had it.
And how it made her feel? How it made her feel at that time?
She said this. She remarked that, oh my god, your voice sounds a lot huskier. And even I realized it. In fact, as soon as the words escaped my mouth, I realized that this is, a notch higher than, what it usually is. And
wow.
Maybe because it was, I think I was, just lazing around, lying down or something. And then I just, sat up on the bed and said something.
Oh, yeah. Now I understand it. When we are lying down, at that time it becomes more husky. Yes.
All right, that could be one of the things. And then I won't go into the details, but there was something that happened, okay, a long time ago, not too long, okay, but it's been a while. So I was, I think I've shared this with you, Vicky. I don't really remember, but anyway, at the cost of repetition, I'm still not going into the details. There was a situation where I had to confront three people, okay, and it was just me, so I was outnumbered, clearly. The only thing is that I was with somebody, and I did not back down, okay. So, and because I had somebody accompanying me, they later on told me that it was because of the way that I spoke to them that no harm befell upon us. And I remember that because I was very aggressive with my tone, and I was just my voice was a lot louder than it normally is, and because it was really confrontational, it had again that husky quality to it, and I was just in that zone where I was not going to put up with anything. And I think because it was a situation that in which I was clearly outnumbered, I think I used my voice, not just as an instrument, maybe like a weapon. And and then the person who I was with, later on they told me that it is when you spoke and when you shouted at them, they stopped in their tracks. They were just frozen. And then even I realized, yes, that's precisely what happened. And if I had used my voice in a very feeble way, I am absolutely certain that it would not have had the same impact. And I have, in our first conversation, I think I confided, in you about this, that I am the sort of person who pays close attention. And it's not that I do it deliberately all the time. I think for me, on a subconscious level, it really matters to me, how somebody is speaking. When you talk about enunciation, it just irks me a little. I don't know. It's not that I have a pet peeve, but if somebody says sir instead of sure, I notice that about people. And I know, all right, this is something this person gets wrong, and I've seen this quite a while. Sorry, so for a long time. So there was this.
And why it becomes important for you?
I don't know. It's maybe because I know that this is something which is clearly wrong. Because you're supposed
to. I'll tell you what I can gauge. Because people around you have made you aware that it is important, right?
I think no, it's just purely an observation. And yes, maybe you're right to a certain extent, yes, because a lot of people often remark about this, that I don't think I've ever made that mistake. I've been acutely aware of it, but when you see people making that mistake and others pointing it out, and then they become the laughing stock or the butt of all jokes, then you realize that this is behavior which is often condemned and often ridiculed. So just to give you an example, Kaaye Poche mein ek gaana hai, and a friend of mine was telling me that somebody sang that song in their college. अब वो गाने में श बहुत है, ठीक है, और वो जो लड़का गा रहा था वो श को स वाली प्रॉब्लम है, तो it became really funny. अब वो गाने में बहुत श है, ए शुभारम ओ शुभारम इस टाइप का. So every time they were saying those words which began with sh, because they were saying it as sir, it completely changes the way that the song is sung and people's perception of it. So कई बार your voice, and also sometimes जैसे कि योगेश was talking about dogs, तो dog training में भी ये कहा जाता है कि अब जैसे dog से अगर आप बात करें, a lot of people immediately, and even I'm guilty of doing this, because I've grown up around dogs, but still एक पता नहीं culture type का कि whenever you see dogs, उनसे बात करने के लिए people instantly modulate their voices, थोड़ी high pitched हो जाती है कि hi so cute, hi puppy, इस टाइप की. Now अब वो dog training वाला मैंने थोड़ा बहुत देखा था, उसमें है कि dogs find it actually annoying. उनके लिए अच्छा नहीं होता. तो हम लोग भले कितना भी क्यूट बनने की कोशिश करें, उनको लगता है कि what is wrong with this human being. ठीक है.
I can see an imaginary world where two kuttas are talking to each other and bitching about humans.
Bitching, pun intended.
I think there was a movie also. There was an animated movie where these two dogs, they were discussing what is wrong with your owner. Oh, he always gets elevated whenever he comes back home and he sees me. Maybe he's not getting any attention from his wife. Yeah, poor chap.
एक बहुत पुराना कार्टून नेटवर्क में शो आता था, Two Stupid Dogs.
Oh yeah. I used to love it. There was this Motu dog and Patlu dog.
और एक brown वाला कुत्ता.
Yes.
I remember. Anyway, तो फिर जो high pitched बात करने का तरीका है ना, dogs actually find it annoying, और वो alarmed हो जाते हैं, क्योंकि वैसे ही उनके मतलब hearing capacity बहुत वो रहती है, इसलिए dog वैसे अलार्म नहीं सुन पाते, वो लोग सुन लेते हैं. हाँ, तो actual तरीका ये है कि if you speak in a very grounded way, then they respond nicely, और उनको भी लगता है कि this is a person who is actually stable.
Okay.
थोड़ा volatility और एकदम erratic energy नहीं है.
This is very interesting.
तो इससे definitely impact पड़ता है.
Also, I've seen, just tell me about that observation also, that when they become stern with the dogs, that I've told you not to do that. No, Tommy, be a good boy. So they keep on changing that tune. Is that also irksome for them? I'm not much aware about them because I don't have dogs and all around me.
No, I haven't really gone deep into it. It's just that my knowledge of this is very superficial and rudimentary. It's just when I've just learned very basic things, and some people find even that astonishing. So it's as simplistic as just squatting and making a fist and putting it, right in front of the dog. Not right in front of the dog. You just keep your hand a little bit away from them, and if they move closer to you, then that is your way of offering them a handshake. And if they come and they're going to just smell you, and then you establish a rapport with them.
And when they are shaking their, what you say?
Yes, then they start shaking their tail. They start wagging their tail.
That's a friendly behavior.
Yeah, that's an indication that all right, they don't sense danger here.
Okay.
And if you sometimes, all right, a lot of the dogs they immediately retract their footsteps if you try to touch them. Some dogs might allow that, but if you try and touch a dog or try and pat it, without the dog being prepared for it, it might even bite you.
Also, I've seen this, that if you decrease the proximity with a dog who is not comfortable with you, they will show you their teeth, their canines, and then all of a sudden, as you retract, they will start showing a very poker face.
In fact, I'll tell you about an episode. It happened to me. So I'd gone to a friend's place who does not stay too far away from my place. Okay, but it still takes about 7 minutes of walking from my place to his. So I'd gone to his movie and to his home, and we were watching a movie. And after that, he was really tired, so I did not bother him. I said, you know what? Even though it's late, I'll walk back home. That's no big deal. So I was walking back, and it was 11:30 at night, and then there was this dog, okay? And I'm not scared of dogs, but smack in the middle of the street, there is this dog. It is snarling, okay? It's snarling, it's just growling, gritting its teeth and looking at me. As I was just progressing, in that road, so I stopped in my tracks, and because it was growling, now I had to make a decision. Now this could potentially, attack me. So now I'd learned a few things. All of this is experiential, and so going back, there was a time where I was small and I was with a friend, and we were just playing. All of a sudden, there was this big dog. It was a domesticated dog, but the person who was walking the dog, because the dog was so powerful, I don't know what he was chasing. The leash escaped from the person's hand, okay? And the dog started just running towards us. And my friend and I, both of us, started running away from the dog. And the owner yelled that don't run, otherwise it'll do something to you. And I stopped in my tracks. And I remember at that point I was still terrified. The dog came close to me, just sniffed for a while, and then it started following my friend. And that experience really remained with me, and from that day onwards I have just internalized this, that this is what you have to do when you really start. And it works with a lot of animals. People who practice Tai Chi, they move very slowly. A lot of the times when people who are Tai Chi practitioners, if they are practicing Tai Chi and animals are there around them, they don't even notice the animals. Sorry, the animals don't notice the people doing the Tai Chi. I said it the other way around.
Okay.
And it is so fear. There's a reason why we have fear built in us. So it actually helps us. So if your body freezes, that's an evolutionary way of defending you, because then the animals will not really harm you.
They sense fear. I've seen this, because
they do sense fear, Vicky.
This incident that you shared,
still,
this incident that you shared, I've gone through a very similar incident. Very similar. Okay. Exactly same. I did the same thing, and I still remember that dog coming and circling around me. Then he was sniffing on my. I was wearing a chappal. He was sniffing on my chappal, and my legs were exposed, and I was shivering, and I was like, he might bite. And then he started wagging his tail. So because I was observing his body language, I went more into it. But that thing actually created a phobia in me of dogs, and I hate dogs to an extreme. I hate them, and I'm scared of them. I'm basically scared of almost every animal that is there. Because with regard to dogs, one thing which I don't like is that they will come towards you to gauge your reaction. So that is intentional. If I'm going my way, you go your way. If I'm harming you, then you come to me. They come even when you're not doing anything. That is the thing that irks me a lot. That's why humans are far better than dogs for me when they are displaying this kind of a behavior.
I
I
think
know
it's the
All
you,
right.
other way
I
around.
know, I know. Yogesh wants to say the opposite is true, but
No,
I'm
I
telling.
mean, I used to scared of dogs, okay?
Mhm.
But I tell you now, no matter whether the dog is out in the open or in the domesticated, I know the dog is not gonna harm me at all. And I go out in remote areas running, cycling, and it happened that dog chases the cyclists. If you have
Mm,
seen the
Even the car,
and
while you're traveling in car late in the night, coming back from some place, the dog start chasing. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm just
There's
going my
another
I
point
fucking
that
tell
I'd
you,
way.
I
like to
tell
add
you
if you
one
have.
trick. You do the trick, and dog will never chase you.
Hmm.
So next time when you are going and you find the dog on the street, just switch off your headlight and go
Okay.
slowly. Don't try to speed up.
In the
Dog
car.
will do nothing to you.
So they're chasing me because of the lights and the speed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yogesh is absolutely right. I've done this many times. So I was actually going to tell you about it. Sometimes when I am coming home, let's say it's late at night, 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, there are these roads and alleys where dogs frequent that space, and if there's any motorist or any vehicle, because they think that it is their territory and it is night time, they just hate any sort of disturbance. So if you are making your way through that road, you have to be cautious. And
Okay.
a lot of the times, when I have driving at a normal speed, a lot of the dogs have tried to chase me. What I do
So
is
it is the light
usually
and sound basically.
no, I don't skip the lights. I don't know do that. In my case, I've realized that it's about the speed. So if you
Hmm.
run away from them, a lot of the times, I have been the pillion rider, and my friend, who's actually terrified of dogs, has been driving, and this, whenever he sees a dog, he just panics. But you know what he's going. And there was this one incident where a dog did try and chase us, and he completely lost control of the vehicle.
Oh man.
And I was so terrified. And I told him that, in times like these, you don't have to try and make a quick escape. Do not accelerate. Because then the dog gets emboldened. The dog thinks that, you know what, I am actually having an impact on this person, and let me try and, because we don't realize that, there are certain things hardwired in these animals and also in us. So fear, as I was describing, evolutionarily it has also served its purpose. It has ensured our survival for so long. So because animals, if you become stationary, they, even if they would sense that fear, they still become confused, because their perceptual capacity is a lot different. In some senses they are highly attuned to some things that we are not, but they don't work very well when you become still. And if you stand your ground, then they also don't really know what to do. There have been people who have fought bears, and they have scared animals just by standing their ground. Because then if you're running, you've given the game away. They know that they have scared you, and they are not scared of any. There's nothing which is going to obstruct them.
So
But
are they
if
trying to
they
scare us?
realize,
Are they trying to
yeah,
scare us?
yes, I think it's just think of it this way. If you have clearly given somebody the impression that they have an upper hand, then they know that, and now they are going to try and subdue the person. It always happens. But if you have a poker face, if you haven't really given the other person the idea that they have control over you, then they might not be in that state of certainty that they can do whatever they want. Now if I know that a person is a weakling, okay, then I might try and pick on them. Why? Because I know this person does not have the capacity to fight back. But if I do not really know about a person's powers or their prowess and how strong and resilient they are, I might be circumspect because I don't really know what I'm contending with. So what really happens is the dogs, because they are descendants of the wolves,
Okay.
they have this ability to sense fear. And also, this one point that I like to add, which is very important: dogs hate children, and especially Indian dogs.
Why?
Not all of them, but a great majority of them. The
Because
reason
of
is
their high-pitched voice.
no. It's not really because of that. Because I think because of the bad experiences that almost all the dogs have had. So a lot of the children, they pelt stones and they really torment these dogs. So they don't really want to distinguish, oh, this is a good child, this is a bad child. They're very wary around children. And it just goes to show that they learn by their experiences. A lot of the dogs, they have this once bitten twice shy kind of a modus operandi, because I see so many dogs. So I always respect dogs, and I always approach them in a very friendly way. But some dogs, despite my efforts, would still not lurk anywhere closer to me. Why? Because they are just distrustful of human beings in general. These are dogs which have suffered severe trauma at the hands of human beings. So I even respect
Okay.
that, and I walk away politely, and I
I never thought about this perspective.
No,
That,
dogs go through a lot.
Like we got fucked by dogs, the dogs also got fucked by us.
Absolutely, they did, and you can't even imagine the kind of horrendous atrocities that have been inflicted. I think we discussed this way that those two medical students, they flung a dog
Oh
from
man,
top
yeah,
of a
that
medical college, and some
that
people
just got tears in my eyes. That was really
absolutely.
something.
So you see, and you're the person who does not like dogs, but still you were moved to tears. So you have a horrendous example of people who are absolutely deplorable, scum of
No,
the
I'm
earth,
not
who do
saying I
these
don't
things.
like dogs. Like I don't have I don't
Aversion.
have a disgust towards them. I just fear them. So I want to be out of their vicinity. I fear them because they have bitten me, they have chased me. So they will put me into an anxiety or whatever mode. So I want to stay away from that kind of a
No, but
reaction.
don't you think that you are operating contrary to the principle? See, because on an intellectual level, we
I've
know
tried
about
that,
these
Akash.
things. The
I've
fear
tried that.
exposure
I've done
theory.
that. I've done that because I know it is the fight, flight, or the freeze. So
Yes.
I've done the freeze one, but I don't like people coming in my vicinity.
Yes.
It is the concept of proxemics that we were discussing. I don't want the dogs to come in my proxemics. I'm like, if I'm not saying anything to you, why are you coming to me? So that just irritates me on another level. So I don't want to be party to it at all.
I completely understand, but I think still, because you do not want dogs coming closer to you, that doesn't mean it will come to pass. Because
I remember while talking to you, I remember this incident from my childhood where once one of my cousin brother's friend's house we had gone to, and they had not put this thing outside, that beware of dog. Oh my god, such a huge dog it was, black dog. I still remember it, and he jumped on me. I think I just skipped the beat. It was horrendous experience for me.
And was he vicious?
And
was he
my
trying
voice
to bite
was
you?
shaking. My voice was shaking, and I told my cousin's friend कि भैया आपने बाहर लिखा क्यों नहीं है कि आपके घर में एक पागल कुत्ता है. मैंने कहा कुत्ता पागल नहीं है, कुत्ता तो नॉर्मल है. मैंने कहा तो मेरे पे क्यों कूद रहा है. कहता दैट इज हिज वे ऑफ लविंग यू. मैंने कहा बट आई डोंट लव दैट. I don't love that. Imagine me being a human. I see a girl and I jump on her while she's walking and say, "This is my way of giving you love. I learned it from my dog. What the fuck?" So they also have to respect our body language, yeah.
I get it. No, but here, see, the reason why you were not able to put it in perspective is you need to realize that they have a different way of exhibiting love. Obviously,
yeah, I know.
When
but
you compare
it was
humans
very scary
to dogs,
for me, man. It was very scary for me. Imagine a
I completely
huge
understand.
black dog jumping on you. Oh my god.
Yes.
It's scary. Scary. It's very scary.
You know what happened? I think you failed in reading its body language accurately. So that's why I was trying to ascertain, was this a vicious
Even if
dog?
I would have known that this is his way of making
yeah,
love
still,
to me,
I get it.
then also I'll be scared.
Me as well. I really love dogs, but from distance. I cannot. I really don't like that.
Sandeep, your voice is not coming at all.
Yeah, it's better now.
Them,
I think he's
but
taken.
I really cannot have them on coming on me and licking me
Exactly.
all over. I don't really. I feel
Exactly.
uncomfortable with all those things.
Because it's not just about the dogs per se. It's more about the concept of proxemics. I don't like people coming in my vicinity without my permission. And you can't say that to a canine, because if you say don't come near, maybe they might bite you, and then you have to go fucking those 14 injections that you have to get. And I'm like,
No, Vicky, that's what I'm trying to say. You can, even if you do not want, to engage with them. You do not want to pet them. With your body language, you can give them this, message that what. Firstly, I'm not scared of you, and please be, away from me.
I don't know, Akash. I don't know what that body language is. You want to spill some beans?
So if there is a dog which is coming, dangerously close to you, and it is just curious, maybe it just wants to sniff your pants, or maybe it is just hungry for love, or it just wants some food. A lot of the times when my friends and I, we
Oh
go,
yeah, this used
and
to
have
happen.
street food.
My mom used to give the local dog milk in the morning, and they have this olfactory sense. So my mom, me, dad, sis, everyone's smell they got, and they're like, this guy is also part of that household that gives me milk. So he kept on following me. I'm like, no, I don't want to give you any milk or anything. That is the fault of my mom. Go and talk to her. Don't chase me. So all this time I'm talking to him. नहीं सोनू, मेरे पास दूध नहीं है, मेरे पास बिस्किट्स नहीं है, मम्मी के पास जाओ, वो पीछे है, मेरे पास मत आओ. And I'm not trying to raise my tone कि अगर मैं इसको ज़्यादा कुछ बोल दिया मैं तो कूद जाएगा.
Vicky, I tell you, I used to be so much terrified and scared of dogs earlier, okay?
जी.
And 10 years ago, when I was visiting Hyderabad, and he has a huge German Shepherd. So when I went, earlier I used to refuse to entering some of my friends' place who used to have those ferocious dogs, okay? And I had to live with that guy for 2 days in Hyderabad. So when I went there, first he said don't enter in when I go in, and wait for 5 minutes. Because dogs were all over on him, because he was going after 15-20 days. And after that he's like, now you come in. And he said, don't move, just stand there, don't move.
Okay.
I was there. He came running, and I didn't move. I didn't react. I just stood, right? However, that time I was a bit scared, but he didn't do. He sniff around and all. He did. And after that, even I was sitting on the couch, and he used to come sit on the side, do nothing. I mean, I like, oh man, this guy, in the first attempt, he will sniff you, and he will identify whether you are a friend or an enemy. That's all. And even today, the same guy, he is in Bombay now. That guy is my best friend. I have many other friends who have dogs, and I tell you, I go out in the villages, in the remote places. So many dogs I get in Bangalore, in Himalayas, in Bombay, in Kolkata. You tell me the city, and I tell you, there is nothing. You just stop by, you just slow down, and the dog will say nothing to you. Even those ferocious dogs looking scary, they will bark. You just stop, and you see the difference. They know that, okay, they don't need to scare from you. See, any animal will attack, will bark, will shout only when they feel a fear from you. The moment you make yourself in a way that you don't need to fear from me, they are calm, they are relaxed. No one wants to harm anyone without any purpose, and especially in the animal kingdom. Human can do that, animals will never do it. And even in the wild you go, no animal or no any predator will attack any human unless that person is scared at that moment, and the attack will happen only and only to defend. No animal has any business to attack any human without any reason.
पर ये ना हमें पता है ना उन्हें पता है कि हमें ये नहीं पता.
मतलब
उनको जानवरों को ये नहीं पता ना कि हमारी तो खुद ही फट रही है तुमसे.
हाँ, लेकिन जब
हम
आपकी
तो
फटी
attack
है, जब आप डरे हुए हो, you will try to do something which may go in a way that you can attack. But if you are composed, you are calm, you are not scared, the message will pass that I am not harming you.
Interesting.